Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today for another episode of Gold Wingnut Live. Each week I answer your questions about things happening in Sumter County and the villages. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos I produce are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happenings here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo video package for your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work's being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some others do. I'm watching your home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange your package today. Now let's get started with the show.
Thank you both for coming in today. This should not take too long. Ain't no thing, I ain't got nothing going on today. Let's get this thing moving. Okay, first up is this red octagon. Stop.
Oh, we're just getting started.
No, that means stop. Like, you should cease to move until it's all clear. Unless, no, there's no unless. There's no other cars around. And it's like a back road on the way to your house. And then I think you could just tap your brakes a little bit and then just keep on going. Absolutely not. Yeah, I think that might be just a little too much information to fit on the sign. Okay, well, hear me out. What if we add a second, smaller sign right up underneath it? Does he have to be here? No, actually, we already have that. This one actually designates that particular intersection as a four-way stop. Oh, well, actually, that's pretty helpful. Nope, don't like that. Oh, the extra sign? No, just the idea of a four-way stop. I mean, who gets to go first? We'll never know. I got this. Actually, each driver must yield to the driver on their right. That's too confusing. I think what we'll probably do is just stop and stare at each other for at least 20 minutes. Well, how about this one? No U-turns. I get it. Clear and to the point. No U-turns. Got it. What was that? Why did he wink? And this one? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that one's pretty straightforward. Yep. He did it again. Are you insinuating that you might not follow all of these rules? I mean, if there are no police around to catch you, did you really break the law? Yes. Well, that is how laws work. Well, agree to disagree. Well, we still got quite a few to go, so let's just do these rapid fire, all right? Are you sure that's a good idea? Pull! Okay, do we understand this? Yeah, sure. Road work ahead. Or welcome to Nashville. And this one. Yeah, this area has a lot of deer, so just be careful. Yes, and for research purposes, where do you plan on putting this sign? Do we think this one is too concise? No, just loose gravel. I think that works. Yeah, I know that's right, because you can't fit on there. Sorry, county couldn't afford to pave your road again because we had to do the rich people's road for the 12th straight year, so best we could do is just sprinkle some more rocks on there. So we're clear about this sign too. No, I get it. Yeah, I know, I got it too. Well, my grandma technically has it on the account of the scoliosis. Yeah, and we've been playing with the idea of what we call mile markers. Oh, now I like that. That is helpful. Ain't that what the Dollar General's for? And we've been a little concerned that this one might be too confusing. Only to people who don't know how the center lane works. Oh, you mean the express lane? No. What, are you driving in the center lane? Not like full speed or anything. Good Lord, like, what are y'all doing in the little medians then? I mean, whatever we want, pretty much, roll tide. Okay, and last but not least, I would like your opinion on this particular sign. I'm just gonna let him go first. Yield. That is correct. But what does it mean? That is the question. So the vehicle that I would supposedly be yielding to, is it bigger than mine? No, that's irrelevant. Are we sure he has a driver's license? I think that particular sign is like the Bible, you know? No. It's kind of like it's open to different interpretations, you know? I mean, some people might take like a Church of Christ approach to it and turn the music all the way down so they could pay attention. I can't do this. And
you ever notice how humans say, I just knew this was my dog?
Yeah, like it hit them the second they saw us. But it's not random. Their brain is actually pulling them toward a dog that matches something inside them.
So you're saying we're emotional mirrors?
Exactly. Take the go-go humans, the ones who love routines, schedules, purpose.
Yeah. They grab dogs like you. Goldens, Labs, Border Collies.
Because they want discipline in their life and apparently a personal trainer with fur.
Okay, what about the people who choose Huskies, Akitas, Shibas?
Those humans tend to respect independence. They don't need constant attention. They admire space and boundaries.
And then there's the humans who love having company.
Mm-hmm. They're drawn to Cavaliers, Dachshunds, little terriers, the nurturers, the ones who just want closeness, a constant shadow, and maybe someone to push around in a stroller.
Mm-hmm.
So the dog a human chooses isn't about the dog alone.
Yeah.
It's about what they're searching for in their own life.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just fit their lifestyle. We reflect their emotional blueprint.
Who's holding up all Hey y'all, if you like this video and you want to make It's a Southern Thing possible, then come join us at the potluck. You'll get exclusive merch, a look behind the scenes of what we're doing, discounts on all of our merchandise, and so much more. What are you waiting for? Come join us at the potluck.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Don, and welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. Glad to see everybody's joining us today. Oh, so we got a full show sheet today of stuff to go over. I got a bunch of questions early on. Looks like we got about 45 of us already on the show, or on the air today. All right. So I'm trying a new piece of software in my broadcast system for the text overlay. I don't know if it makes much difference. We'll see, but it's a little more complex for me to set up each week. It used to be that I just had one setting for my channel. Now I got to set it up for each video. But hey, if it works, that's what counts. Last week was just a nightmare trying to get it to work, and I just gave up on that piece of software. So some of the questions we had during the pre-show. There was a question about the Catholic church that's supposed to be built on, it's on Marsh Bend Trail, right across from Monarch Grove, just south of, what's the name of that village? I can never remember. They're all starting to blur after a while. But anyway, so it's probably 2 to 3 years out before it actually opens. Building a big building like that is a long process. I have a friend of mine who's a little bit involved with it. The church is taking their time. They're making sure that they can do it, I think, without accruing any debt, which is a very good thing. But anyway, so it's coming. What else? Somebody asked about the Olympic drones. Man, so if you watch any of the Olympics, most of the downhill sports, they use drones this time to film them. And I got a friend of mine, Alan, who's a member of the Drone Flyers Club. He's very big into what's called FPV flying, first person view. That's what they use for the Olympics. I'll get to my experience with FPV in just a minute. But apparently they had like 100 of those drones. They only fly for about 3 or 4 minutes, which is really all they need for, you know, a bobsled run or a downhill ski run. But they'll do upwards to 100 miles an hour. It was quite a logistics feat to make that happen. You know, they spent days prepping for it, and it worked out phenomenal. But these drones, they're 3-inch drones, which means they're about this big. Okay, and that's the camera, everything. Camera to battery. Like I said, they fly for 3, maybe 4 minutes at most, but they are absolutely phenomenal technology. Yesterday and the day before, the Lifestyle Expo, or the Outdoor Expo, was going on, which is really the Lifestyle Expo that they have every month over at Izell. They had it at Everglades on Friday and Saturday, and it was for all the outdoor activities. So the RC car racing was there. There was a thing about pickleball. Of course, the Drone Flyers Club was there. I was there both days. I took a little time off. So I've only just recently started getting into FPV flying. Basically, you wear goggles, so it looks like you're sitting in the cockpit of the drone. It's the same view I get when I use my remote, which is a handheld remote. But this is a goggles. It's very immersive. The only problem I have with them is they don't ship them with barf bags, and they are, yeah, they can take your toll on it. But I mean, they're a lot of fun. I mean, I was flying about 1.5 feet off the ground at 30 miles an hour, and boy, you talk about a different kind of view. So hopefully in upcoming videos, I will incorporate some of that, the FPV flying in there, and we'll see how that works out. David asks about FEMA. Okay, FEMA flood. Writing that down because that was something that came up. Let's see. The other thing was asked about the cell tower that's being built. It's just south of Shallow Creek Country Club. It's basically going to be between Shallow Creek and the Palms golf courses. They've got the foundation set. I don't know when they're going to start erecting the steel, but it's supposed to be a 200-foot tower, and it's a cell tower, or communications tower is what they call it actually. But since they've set the foundations, there's looks like there's a job trailer out there, so it could be any time now. Oh yeah, so there was a question about the area south of Marsh Bend Trail. So this is south of Long Prairie. And when's that going to happen? What's going to happen down there? So that area is CDD 17. All right, so yeah, they haven't even announced it yet, but that's where CDD 17 is going. My informed sources, ooh boy, it's been a long day. Not enough coffee, I guess. My informed sources tell me that 17 and 18 is south of that, but nothing has been released on them yet. I haven't seen any drawings, but that's residential. When is it going to start? Well, you can figure they have got maybe a year and a half to 2 years to build out CDD 16. That's pretty common, about 2 years to build out an entire CDD. And in the interim, they're going to start working there. They have started some working. Right now, they're moving the stockpile yard that is south of Marsh Bend Trail. That's the big piles of dirt. They've been moving that. They've moved a whole bunch up to the area just south of Central Parkway, over by the new gate there at Bush Boulevard. So that's going to be distributed and to level the ground and raise the level. And on that topic of raising the level, that deals a lot with the question about FEMA flood zones. So there was more questions this week. I've answered several times actually about flood zones. And at the county workshop, it was either the first or the second county workshop of this year. I don't even remember. It's all a blur. But we had our flood manager there, and she was explaining the process, and it's taking between 2 and 3 years for the flood zones to be updated by FEMA, which, you know, it's a huge disadvantage to the homeowners because there's actually very few flood zones in there, but there are homes that are in those old flood zones. But all those old flood zones have gone away because the developer, in prepping the land for the CDDs, has raised the ground level to stop the risk of flooding. So unfortunately, if you happen to be in one of those areas, then you're going to need to carry flood insurance. And the message, I think it was David who asked about it. He commented that's like 177 scoops of Zanzibar chocolate. So that hurt when he said that. That put it into very good perspective. Now it's about $100 a month or so. So it's a significant expense. Unfortunately, it's out of the county's hands. All the paperwork has been submitted for all these zones as we have the data become available from the developer. But you know, this is Washington we're dealing with, and of course they claim things get slowed down when there's a government shutdown. So you know, and of course it doesn't just start back up instantly. They've got to ramp back up and get things working. I don't know. I guess they're trying to wake back up because they were asleep at the wheel. Anyway, so there we go. Let's see. Did you find vinyl siding to match my house? I have one piece that needs to be replaced. Don, do you have a contact for vinyl siding? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. JVC or something like that. John, send me an email, don@goldwingnut.com, and remind me about it, and I will. It's something vinyl. it begins with a J. But anyway, send me an email reminding me, and I'll find that contact information and I'll get it to you. It's slipping my tongue right now. I can see their truck. I can see the people that work there because I've met many of them. But you know, there you go. Let's see. This is from Village of Sodfather. Don, looking forward to your show and really looking forward to on or after July 20th. Fully moved out and move in. Oh, okay. LaGrange, here we come. So Sodfather's moving from Middleton over to LaGrange. Good for him. Let's see. Steve said, great to see you Saturday. Your truck is really great. Had Super Duty before I moved here, but it helped buy my house and didn't really need it. Yeah, sometimes it's not always about need. Nah, it's a need. It's a need. I mean, really, does anybody really need a second set of golf clubs? Absolutely they do. Absolutely. You got to have something to blame the bad score on. All right. Roxy wants to know, with the drought and current water restrictions, where is the developer getting all the water to fill the ponds, lakes, and water on the golf courses? So they have a permit to pull that water already. And the water restrictions are based on permits, or they account for the permits that are in place. So the other thing is, when they pull water to fill those, they're pulling it from the lower Floridian aquifer. We get our drinking water, our potable water, however you want to pronounce it, from the upper aquifer. It's a little better quality water than the lower Floridian it's a hard one to say. Floridian aquifer. But there you go. They also get a vast majority of it from drainage. So when it rains, like it did some yesterday, no, not yesterday, day before yesterday, that was, a lot of that goes in to fill the ponds. As the pond levels, let's say Central Lake rises a little bit, they can pull some water out of that to keep its level constant, and they'll move it over to other lakes, other ponds, whatever you want to call them. They don't pull water from up north and bring it down south like somebody commented on a certain online website. And, it just, they can move water around, but they're really, everything is zoned. So, for example, I don't believe they can move water from the north side of Central Parkway to the south side of Central Parkway. It's just not set up like that. They build it in phases. All right. Let's see. So I hope that answers the question. Okay. Sodfather says, people are assuming it's a bad thing to hear Eastport music from Central Lake lots. But people buying there want to hear the music. Hearing the music from their lanai is a positive thing. And Sodfather, I'm not going to argue with you. Some people are looking forward to that. Other people may not enjoy it. No, not. All right, wait. All right. Don, have you heard of a new home, not a lottery? I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. They when new homes are listed, they pretty much they have the quote lottery. Many of them don't have takers. The ones that do get takers, even the spec homes, verandas, courtyard villas, a lot of that is based on their view, or the lot size, or there's some other desirable feature. Maybe it's a super desirable floor plan, and that drives the lottery pull on that one. Sometimes there may only be one person and they get it. Yeah, okay. So Mark says, closing on house in Finney soon. Owner never flushed the tankless water heater since 2018 for any plumber to call. What's the expected damage? My understanding is it's about $120 to $150. I've got to get mine flushed too, because it's coming up on 2 years and we haven't had it flushed, and I have been negligent. I actually have a reminder on my calendar that keeps coming up every week, and I just keep going, yep, I got to get that taken care of. Yep, I got to get that taken care of, and I don't. All right. You only call it potable water if you're from California. Actually, on a submarine, it was called potable water. But I just caught I just caught it California pot. Yeah, never mind. But on the submarine, we called it potable water. And I can remember I got into an argument with Debbie. This was years ago. Because I said potable water. And she says, no, it's potable. I said, no, it's potable. I use this word, 10 times a day on a submarine, because, we distill water and we send it to the potable water storage tanks all the time. That's where our fresh water comes from. But, yeah. All right. Let's see. We talked about the flood. All right. Bob is a Finney resident and flushes hot water heater. Great. Okay. Good to know, Muskie. Good to know. All right. So let's go to today's main theme. Citizens First Bank merging with Seacoast. Notice I said merging because it was a merger. How is the water damaged if not flushed? That one's, I'm going to stop for a second and answer Mark's question. The problem is you get scale buildup inside the coils, and that can reduce the heat transfer, making it less efficient. And eventually, if left long enough, it could plug. It takes a long time to plug it, but it is possible. So getting it flushed is just a preventative measure. Personally, I don't like tankless water heaters, but that's a personal preference. I've always had a tanked water heater until Debbie moved into this house, and yeah. Let me put it this way: when I turn the water on in my shower in my apartment, it's hot. Here, it takes a lot longer. All right. Okay. All right, let's get back to Citizens First Bank. So in October, there was a merger between Citizens First Bank and Seacoast. At the time, Seacoast was valued at about $16 billion, and Citizens First Bank was valued at about $6 billion. So now combined, they're about $22 billion. The local rebranding, okay, will be in July. So that's when the Citizens First Bank signs will come down and the Seacoast Bank signs will go up. It's, we'll get to the why in a few minutes. But it was, I hate to say it, but it was inevitable. But that's really not really a bad thing. But anyway, Wednesday, I went to a morning breakfast meeting with a bunch of reps from Citizens First Bank and Seacoast. There were some of the senior people from both banks at this meeting. There was about 10 residents there. And it was very interesting. It was pretty much, they said, this is what's going on. This is where we're headed. And then they opened the floor up after about 10 minutes to questions. And we sat there for a good hour and a half asking questions. And I ended up having a second meeting with a couple of the representatives from Seacoast. After we went to dinner, and we talked for a good 2.5 hours over dinner about the merger and things that went on. So I asked a bunch of questions, because I knew many of you were interested in it. I know I was interested in it. So, one of the first things they said was they did a lot of research before going into this merger. trying to understand what the customer's expectations and likes and dislikes were with Citizens First Bank, and that they had to come up with a plan to make it a seamless transition, and so what's going to change? I can tell you this: not much. The sign is going to change. Again, that's in July. But as far as, let's talk about the important things, the people. Okay, Citizens First Bank had about 400 people when this process started. So far, 300 people have been carried over, hired on. So the people that we see, the tellers that you see whenever you go into the bank, they're going to be there unless they've chosen to leave. What they said was that many of them took the offers immediately to carry on in their positions. They had some people that there was not a, what's the word I want to use, equivalent position, but they knew they wanted to keep them. So now they're looking for other positions for them within the Seacoast organization, but they want to keep them local. So I think that's a great thing. They said that they're making offers every week to more and more employees. They want to keep as many people as possible. There is no current plans to shutter any of the branches, but they do intend to continue the tradition that has gone on for many, many years with Citizens First Bank, and that is one of the first places to open in just about any commercial district. So when Lake Deaton Plaza opened up, Citizens First Bank was one of the first places to open. Magnolia Plaza, same thing. Down at Eastport, I think that was the second thing. Yeah, that was the second thing to open. The first was the healthcare facility. In Middleton, it was the first thing to open. In fact, there was a bank there and nothing else was open. So they've been doing it all along. They intend to go forward with that first for in future commercial areas, as well as future town squares. Yeah, I said future town squares. There's more coming. All right. You have to go back about 2 years. I showed a picture that was kind of blurry, but I said, these orange spots here are where big commercial areas are. Anyway, what other things? The mortgage department, and this was one I had. I have taken, 4 mortgages? Yeah, 4 mortgages in the 12 years I've been here with Citizens First Bank. When I bought my first house, I did not use Citizens First Bank. I used a mortgage broker. I felt like I was bearing my financial soul to this mortgage broker. And I mean, I guess the most annoying question was, because Debbie was working at Disney at the time. And, it was minimum wage. And the mortgage broker said, well, why is she going to continue to work there? It's a minimum wage job. That seems like a big waste. And I finally had to explain to him, my wife is 2 years from retiring from Disney. That's why she's going to work there. It's still close enough. We used to live in Haines City, which wasn't really far from Disney, but the traffic on I-4 was horrendous. And it took Debbie the same amount or less time to get from Disney to the Villages as it did to get from Disney to Haines City. So it worked out. Let's see. What else is? Oh yeah. So, but anyway, back to the mortgage departments. They're not changing. I told them in the times I've gone to get a mortgage, it was as easy as buying a new car. Okay, you go into a car dealership and they can do the financing right there on the spot, and it wasn't much different. Funny thing is, after that meeting, my next stop was over to the mortgage department in Brownwood to talk to somebody about a mortgage for a second house. Got to get out of my apartment, but and the only way it's going to work is if I get into a house, and so that's where I'm headed. But that's still down the road yet. Let's see, the branches. that living room that they always have in the branches, that's not changing. They got lots of positive feedback on that. People felt comfortable. It felt welcoming. So they're not going to change that. They want to keep that same family friendliness that's gone on. Funny thing is, their biggest thing that they heard from people that people did not want to change, and it's the reason I go into the bank instead of going through the drive-through or using the ATM, and that's the popcorn. Everybody that goes into Citizens loves the popcorn, and they said it's going to stay. Let's see. One of the things they said was they were surprised by the customer base, and we were like, okay, what was that all about? And they said the credit scores are on average are greater than 750, and there's a large percentage that their customers, the credit score is greater than 800. Now, it's easy to understand. The clientele here are older. They've been wise with their money, and so they're not carrying a tremendous amount of debt. So that's going to improve your credit score. They said that the Citizens First Bank portfolio of trusts, which is where the money is invested, was very strong, and it actually, when the two banks merged, it actually improved their overall portfolio significantly. So if you want to find out more about the Seacoast Company, they have two websites. So if you want to do your banking, I know what I forgot to talk about. I just write a quick note to myself so I don't forget. So if you want to do your banking, then it's seacoastbank.com. But if you want to find out about the company, okay, and I've spent probably 3 or 4 hours looking at this over the last couple of days, reading their stock reports and their annual reports and things like that. Seacoast Banking, so Seacoast Banking, BANKING.com, is where you can find out about the bank itself and the stocks and things like that. Seems like a very good company. It's it's definitely a growing bank. So one of the things that people asked about too was, I forgot about the other one. I was making notes all morning and I forgot these two things. Account numbers, okay? Your account number is not going to change. Now, they said there is a very, very small percentage where the account numbers are going to have to change because there's a corresponding bank account number in Seacoast. So they don't want to have the same account numbers. But as far as the routing number, the number on the bottom of your checks, if you still use checks, which I do, that's not going to change. It's going to be pretty transparent. The bill pay service, there was some comments that made about the bill pay service, and people didn't like the new system. That wasn't because of the merger, okay? Because both Seacoast and Citizens work with the same online bill pay company, but there was a software upgrade that Citizens had to do, and they've heard the feedback. People are not happy with it, that bill pay is still going to happen. One of the good things, and for me, that bill pay service is also going to be implemented eventually onto the business side or the business account side. Right now, I can't do that. I have to. There's other methods that you can use, but the way you go in and do online banking, I'll be able to do that with Citizens or Seacoast, whatever it is, in a couple of months. We're getting some messages. We're going to get back to those in just a minute. I'm going to hit on the last big point, and that's the why. So why did the villages do this? Well, first off, the timing the timing of events this last year were really horrendous, and it left some doubts in people's mind. First off, the insurance company. The insurance company was sold 11 years ago. Maybe it's up to 12 now. And they only last year decided to start changing the signage to the Baldwin Group. That was not, as I understand it, that was not the developer's decision because they're not involved. They're just the landlords now for the insurance company. It used to be the village's insurance, and they kept it that way for many years. The whole thing with the Medicare, that was an unfortunate thing. I do not believe that the developer did anything wrong. My impression and what I know of the family is they are very honest, very honorable people, and they would not be involved with any kind of scam. This was more of a, as I understand it, a billing error. And you know, when you're getting thousands of transactions a day, you can't look at, I mean, nobody can really look at that many transactions a day. And my understanding was it was a billing error. But anyway, back to the why, okay? Bottom line, the developer is trying to focus on their core business. And what does that mean? That means building houses. You know, when the villages first came about in the 80s, there was no banks around here. Nobody understood this market. So they had to, they basically built their own bank, just like they built their own hospital. They built their own shopping centers. They did their own water and sewage treatment, okay? Because it was very rural. It was very raw land. So they created these things. They built the amenities, okay? But if you've watched over the years, water utilities end up getting sold to NSCUD, okay? Water and wastewater treatment facilities. The amenities, since I've been here, there have been 2 amenity sales, one in 16 and one 2 years ago, where basically all the amenities from 466 down to Monarch Grove and the Lake County line on the other side, that was all transitioned from privately owned to publicly owned because they were bought by the CDDs. So they're not in the business of running amenities. They do it because they have to sell the houses, because that's one of the key things people are looking for here. They're not in the business of treating water and sewage, but they got into that to support the building of their houses, okay? So same thing with the banking. They're not in the banking business. Well, they are, but that's not their focus. So things have matured enough. They're moving on. They're divesting that particular aspect of it and staying focused on building houses. You know, the other part of it too, I discussed this with the reps there. You know, Citizens was a $6 billion organization. It merged into now what's a $22 billion organization. That gives them much greater lending power, okay? And even with, you know, half the homes not carrying a mortgage here in the villages, there's still a lot of homes, still a lot of money. A great many people borrow their money from Citizens. Therefore, it gives them a better financial base to work with. How did I get involved with this? Is, of course, the last question. I was recommended by some of the folks that work at the banks. Again, I'm in the banks sometimes 2-3 times a week. I frequent both the Middleton Bank and the Brownwood branch, and all the ladies there, they're all very nice. They treat me very well, and I greatly appreciate it. So I wanted to say thank you to all of them. These are in alphabetical order. There's Debbie, there's Joanne, there's Julie, there's Kira, there's Melissa, there's Ruth, there's Susie, And ladies, if I forgot any of you, I apologize. These are some phenomenal people working in the bank. All right, so we're going to drop and take the mid-show break. I'm going to top off my coffee. Actually, I haven't drank that much of it because I've been talking all the time. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go through the questions and we're going to come back to them. So let's take a break. Thanks for sticking with today's broadcast of Gold Wingnut Live. Pardon me for just a minute while I go grab a fresh cup of coffee and stretch my legs and back. While you're waiting, let me ask you a quick question. Are you building a new home in the Villages and need someone with a trained eye to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates? Then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo-video package of your new home. I've nearly 20 years experience as a construction project manager, and I've been offering this valuable service to residents for over 6 years. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work is being done right and when it's not. Fortunately, serious issues are rare, but even the most minor issues are better caught during construction than during closing. I'm not just taking pictures of your home like others do. I'm watching your home being built with a trained eye to ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange for your package today. Now let's get back to the broadcast.
My mom gets so upset when she calls me and I run away.
Yeah, humans take it personally.
Yeah. We don't hear their words first. We read their energy.
Yeah.
If they're chasing us, waving arms, yelling our name, congrats. You just started a game.
We react to movement first. Fast feet, open space, wind in the face.
That's dopamine, baby.
Freedom hits before their voice even reaches our brain. So when we run, it's not disrespect, it's instinct plus reward.
Play and survival kick in at once.
Humans think, why won't you listen? But we're thinking, this feels exciting and safe right now.
That's why chasing doesn't work. Want the secret? Stop running after us.
Stay calm. Turn away. Be still. Calm confidence pulls us back faster than shouting ever will. It's not that we don't love them. It's just that instinct always speaks louder than words, unless they're holding treats.
You ever wonder if your dog loves you? I mean, really loves you?
Yeah, as if we don't make it clear every single day. When we look into your eyes and don't look away, that's trust. Deep trust.
We don't make eye contact with just anyone.
Yeah.
We also bring you toys. It's not about playing, it's sharing joy. Like, this makes me happy. I want it to make you happy too.
And we follow you everywhere. Kitchen, couch, bathroom. Because life just feels calmer when we're close. Can't forget those enthusiastic greetings.
Jumping, whining, tail going crazy, like you've been gone for 5 years, not 5 minutes. Because to us, it is the best moment of the day.
And the biggest one, sleeping next to you.
That means we trust you with one of the most precious things we have, our sleep. If your dog does these things, you're not just their human, you're their entire world.
All right, we are back, and thanks for sticking around. So I love those dog pack memes or whatever you want to call them, the little short videos they put out. It's a great organization. If you're looking for a dog park or something like that, try the dog pack. I just grab their videos off of Facebook. I just mark them for later download. But also the southern ones. Oh my gosh, that guy just cracks me up. I'm dying. When in the last at the starting video where he picks up the cone and says, "Look, the Tennessee state flower." Having lived in Memphis for 7 years, I think it was the state flower. All right, let's get back and started. We're going to go talk about some of the things that were put out. So one of the questions was about Community Watch now monitoring for watering. They're going to become the water Nazis, if you will. It's interesting. That's the first time that we're seeing Community Watch take on these extra responsibilities. I kind of disappointed because I think they need to stay focused on watching the community and not so much about watching whose water is running in, because all they need to do is, thank goodness it's a simple schedule. They look at your house number. If you're watering and it's not on your day, I'm not sure what they're going to do. The downside to that I found interesting is that I haven't heard anything about any additional training for residents. I mean, honestly, how many of you know how to reset the controller that's out in your low voltage panel? Very few, okay? Most people don't even know it's there, but that's about it. They don't give you a full manual for it. To do that, you got to go on to whatever the company's website is and find it, and then you can do it. So in the new areas, though, I will tell you that they do have, hang on just a second, let me grab the box. So somebody brought it up. Now, this was actually at the dog park. Paul brought it up to me. They got this module here called a wand module, and it puts a Wi-Fi connection into your, your sprinkler system. So now I don't have to go to the panel and adjust it. I just use my phone, and I can see when it's watered, and it actually grabs the weather forecast, and it uses that to figure out, okay, if there's more than so much rain, it's not going to water today if it's your scheduled day. So that's very useful. So I'm still playing with it. It's only been in about a week, and but it's working just fine. And but as far as Community Watch, watching the watering, again, if you don't give the residents the tools to correct the issue, because they're all set up on some really screwy schedules based on, if you go onto the District Gov website, they've got these massive tables that depends on your house number, especially in the southern parts, as to which day you water and what time you water. So those are all out the window now, and they're just on this abbreviated schedule that says 1 day a week, and it's I think it's 0-1 is Monday, 2-3 is Tuesday, 4-5 is Wednesday, 6-7 is Thursday, and 8-9 is Friday. So that's the last digit in your address. If that's the number, that's the day you water on, and it's on the District Gov website. But you got to be able to teach people, if nothing else, if you're gonna take strong arm action, you better have a way to have some response by if you're going to implement it, you need to be able to respond to the issue, in my opinion. And they need to have somebody that can come out and change your settings for you. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's my opinion. There you go. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So another question I had was about the humidity in the house. What do you set it at? So I will tell you, on a submarine, which I spent 20 years of my life going to sea on, humidity was a big thing because it really made a huge difference in the comfort on the ship. I have been cold, feeling chilled, in an 80-degree engine room, okay? And the reason for that, because the humidity was at 35%. Okay, it was way low, and our humidifiers weren't working properly for some reason, and it just sucked the moisture out of the air. So the idea of controlling your humidity in the air conditioning system, I learned this both in the Navy on the submarine, but also worked for Johnson Controls, which is, Mr. Johnson was the guy who invented the automatic thermostat, 130 years ago or however long it's been. Controlling the temperature and the humidity is about the evaporation of moisture from your skin. Okay, when there's a high level of evaporation of moisture from your skin, it's got a very good cooling effect. Okay, so in the winter, you raise your humidity. I keep mine at about 70% in the winter months. Okay, the temperature in the house is normally about 70 degrees. Okay, and the humidity is about 70%, and I find that very comfortable. In the summertime, I crank the humidity down. Normally it's down about 55% humidity. Okay, but then the temperature is at 75, 76 degrees, maybe 77. By varying the humidity, so keep it low in the summer, high in the winter. The other thing is ceiling fans. Okay, in the winter, you want the ceiling fans to blow up. Why? Because you don't want that breeze coming down on your skin. If that breeze is coming down on your skin, regardless of what the temperature is and the humidity is, it's going to increase the evaporation of moisture off your skin. You're going to feel colder. If you have it blowing up, it circulates the warm air without blowing directly on you. Whereas in the summertime, you want the fans blowing down so that you do get that extra evaporation. All right, let's see. There was a question and another comment about widening the turnpike. So that's still at least 2 years away. They have adequate right-of-way on both sides of the road to put the lanes in. Now, they also own the right-of-way, obviously, in the median. So depending on the location and the amount of right-of-way that they have, they may put lanes on the median, one lane in each direction on the median, and one lane in each direction on the outside, because they're going to add 2 lanes in each direction. But at the service plaza, there's going to be 2 lanes on the outside. Now, will they put a sound abatement wall up? I don't know that yet. I am still actively pursuing that in my position on the Metropolitan Planning Organization. The gas line is not an issue. The gas line is far enough away that it's not an issue. So there you go. Wow, we're getting more traffic in here. And thank you, Victoria. We'll get back to your comment in just a minute. Somebody asked about biking paths, and let's see. Yeah, oh, I think it's up there. I can't. Yeah, I think it's just off the screen now. Anyway, Livian says, Don, from what we're seeing on the map, it looks like most of the wider shared use paths are south of Magnolia Plaza. Is that accurate? If so, which villages have the best connectivity for biking? South of the Turnpike, and actually south of 44, south of the Turnpike. I think also over in Chitty Chatty, and I know over in Citrus Grove, St. Catherine, in that area. So the golf cart path, the multimodal paths aren't for golf carts in most of those areas. The place where you find the multimodal paths now are on the 4-lane roads. But as far as biking, they've gone an extra step. They've got the shared use lanes on the roadway for the golf carts, and then there's also a path on for bikes and walking and roller skating and whatever else you want to do. So pretty much, if you're a biker, bicyclist, so it would be nice if all our bicyclists rode on those paths, but many of them tend to want to be on the main roads, and even though there is a multimodal path, I'm not going to get into the argument over it, but pretty much the whole community is bike friendly, but I think south of the Turnpike and in the St. Catharines in that area are much more bike friendly. I hope that answers the question. All right, let's see. All right, so Eb says, we were given instructions on the water controller when we bought our home. Sorry for the resale buyers. So when you were given instructions, Eb, did they just give you verbal? Because I know I would have been right over my head. If I don't have it written down, then it's not going to happen. I know one of the first things I did in my first house and when I got to this house was to download those instructions, print them out double-sided, and staple them together, and they're in the low voltage box, just so I remember. Yeah, let's see. Village's Prophet says, I find it humorous when a few say the whole lottery thing is some sort of hoax marketing gimmick, because if it's true, there's dozens and dozens on it, and I've previously spoken to those who have told me. Because if true, there's dozens and dozens in on it. It was personally, as I've previously spoken to those who have told me. I'm going to go back to my opinion of the developer. I know several people in very good standing, very high places within the community that had to use the lottery system just like everybody else. And bottom line is, they're not gonna cross that bridge and have that, just because then it gets, as soon as it happens once, it gets out of control. Well, you did it for them, why not for me? Blah blah blah. It's easier just to be honest, and I don't think it's an issue. It took a few times to win their home. Okay, yep. Let's see. Victoria says, thank you, Victoria, for your donations. As you can see, Victoria's message came up properly this time. And again, this is because of the different software I'm using. She says, how's the weather there today? Only a snow squall here today. Can't wait to be back down in a few weeks. Great show. Thanks for all the hard work putting up for these lives and videos. Thank you, Victoria. It is 77 degrees today. Been out wrestling with the lawnmower and a few other things. Took the dogs to the dog park this morning. They had a blast. Anyway, yeah. So the weather is gorgeous here. Why would anybody want to live in Florida? You don't. You don't want to live in Florida, okay? It's too nice. All right. Village Prophet says, in my case, after months of searching, we finally saw a spec home, and our agent told us on September 30th was being released October 1st. Long story short, we have been living in this property since October 31st. Yeah, so I mean, if it's not, again, the homes that have, you know, a pool, they have this phenomenal view, and they're building them as spec homes, they got a lottery just like it. When I got my first house, it was in the lottery. We got it, and our sales rep, Roy Robertson, his wife was the one who was doing the work for him. She said, well, if you don't want it, when she called us at 5:05, she says, there's 5 other people after you that will take it. So, needless to say, we took it. Anyway, let's see. Steve May says, are the reclaimed water meters smart enough to meter the amount of water used when the water flows is through the meter? Water used and when the water flowed in through the meter. So the water meters don't do any control. all they do is measure, and they can measure at any number of flow rates, from a very small trickle to a full-blown blast. So they're accurate, but they don't do any controls. Let's see. Megan says, "Hi Don. Will the villagers sell lots first in Merritt, just north of the lots just sold in Long Prairie, or do you think they'll sell lots on the right side of Bush, other side of Long Prairie?" I think they're going to go to the other side of Bush first before they go up into Merritt Field, just because Merritt's a little farther behind. That didn't come out right. It's not behind. It's just not as progressed as far because it's in an earlier stage of construction. It's not behind. And if you look at the county property appraiser's website, if you zoom in on that area, you can see the lots on the area between Bush Boulevard and McNeil are already plotted, and so yeah, they're gonna go up a certain ways, and they'll come over and do this way, and then they're gonna continue to go up. So yeah, I think they'll do more Long Prairie, and then they'll do Merritt Field after that. Let's see. Yes, verbal and manual, but have replaced the control panel with a wireless control panel. Okay, so Eb is talking about his sprinkler system. Let's see. James says, "Hi Don, can you control the humidity setting only in the EcoBeast thermostats in recent new builds, or is it based on the system running at a set temperature? Thank you." So the house we bought 12 years ago had humidity settings that we could set, and it was just part of the control system. It has become extremely common to have humidity control in modern HVAC systems because it is an energy saving function. Once you get that humidity down, the temperature can be higher. So it saves energy. I don't know if it's mandated. Many times things are mandated, like the change in refrigerant to the new refrigerants from R12 and things like that. That was all federally mandated, but that was years ago. Anyway, so yeah, the older thermostats can handle it. Don, do you still like your autonomous lawnmower? Okay. So let's talk about that one, and we'll get to Terry's question. I do like it. I still have to cut the front. I still have to edge. But the day-to-day routine of cutting is over in my book. In fact, I was just out working on it this morning. There was some grass gummed up in the bottom of it, and considering it's been 4 or 5 months that it's been running, it's the first time I cleaned it out. I think it's pretty good. I think I need to change the blades. It's got blades about 1.5 inches long, just little ones, and they spin around on a wheel, and they shoot out, and they cut the grass. The thing with these autonomous mowers is you can't go 2 weeks and then let it run. They just won't handle it. They're not designed for that. In the summertime, I was letting it run 2 and 3 times a week, or excuse me, earlier in the year, not summertime. I let it run 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, just depending on how fast the grass was growing, to keep it under control. Now it's running Wednesday and Saturday or something like that. Saturday. No, or is it Sunday? I don't know. I got to look at the schedule. It's all on my app. But the thing with the autonomous mowers is, and I'm going to say it, it's probably going to upset a friend of mine who's in the business, but it's okay. Some of the way they lay sod is really terrible here. And if there's gaps in the sod, between the sod, yes, the sod is going to fill in the gaps, but these autonomous lawnmowers have relatively small wheels. They can get stuck in there. And I'll be honest with you, I had some ruts dug in. I had to fill with topsoil and get the grass to regrow. early on in the process. That's all been taken care of. It took a couple of months to get it all done. But now it runs great, never gets stuck. So it's still a good thing. I like it. Anything beats pushing that damn lawnmower. I hate lawnmower, doing yard work. I hate painting. I hate doing paperwork. And been doing a lot of paperwork this week too. Hi Don, this is from Terry. She says that, or he or she, I don't know. Are there plans to redo the storefronts on 301 in Wildwood between 466A and 44? That one I don't know. That's all privately owned property, so it's going to be up to the individual business owners to redo the storefronts. Some of the storefronts are much older, and they could use a little revitalization. All right. So speaking of stores, Wednesday morning, 7:30, the new Walmart opens. So if you're going to be there opening day, I'll see you there. I'm going there. It's one of the pleasures I get as a county commissioner. I get to go to the opening of new businesses and things like that. Let's see, the 19th of March, the Enrichment Academy is having a learning expo. What this is the new semester and the new schedule is getting ready to come out. It'll come out the Monday after for all the new Enrichment Academy classes. And it's a chance for you to go see demonstrations and meet the instructors and ask questions. I'll be there. I took a 6-month hiatus from teaching my drone classes. I'm in the middle of revising my lesson plans thanks to many changes in drone laws. And I'll be teaching both my classes. I said both because it used to be 3, now it's just 2. But I'll be teaching those next semester. Okay, we got a couple of things coming here. It says, are there shredded events locally? If not, what do you recommend for large volume shredding? And it says, do you recommend freezer rated for garage because of the heat? On the latter one, no. I just use a regular freezer. I bought it at Lowe's, oh my gosh, maybe 10 years ago. And it does just fine. It's not an issue. New freezers are much more efficient than they used to be. As far as shredding events, I know that the POA has one coming up in March. It's the 21st or 22nd. I don't remember exactly. Go to the POA's website and you can find out the information there. Let's see. We talked about the Catholic Church already. So, oh yeah, County Fair is coming up the 6th. The 6th of March it starts, and it goes through the 15th. It's a great time, a lot of fun. I enjoy going. One of the pleasures of being the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners is I get to bid for the county commission because every year we buy an animal or two to support the kids. The money goes to the kids and it goes to the various charities, the 4-H and FFA, to support them. Many of our local businesses are greatly involved. These are the same contractors that you see. You see the Galaxy Home Solutions trucks. You see the TLC trucks. You see the T&D trucks. These same men and women who own these companies are the ones out there bidding, and I don't want to say they get carried away, but they have a lot of fun doing it. And of course, the villages also, Mr. Morris gets involved with the bidding for the animals too. He's a very big supporter of the local community. What else was here? Tomorrow, well, Daytona Bike Week started Friday. Tomorrow morning, I'm heading out. So when I get done here, I guess Debbie's cooking dinner. I'm not. I'm going to be working on the bike, getting it ready for tomorrow. I'm going down to Daytona, spend the day down there, and then come back in the evening. It's been a few years since I've been to Bike Week. I always enjoy it. It's interesting sometimes. Some of the people I've seen, they have no business on motorcycles because their riding skills are not there. But of course, some are partaking of too much alcohol, and that's dangerous. Unfortunately, every year somebody or several people are killed in Daytona with bike accidents during Bike Week, and it's sad to see. Let's see. Casa del Sol Boutique Bed and Breakfast says, on average, how long after submitting your landscaping plans into ARC does it take to get the go-ahead? About a week or two. Just depends on when you submit them. I think it's on Tuesday the ARC meets. So I think they have to have the package together the Friday before, because it's posted publicly. But usually a week or two. ARC is generally not a big holdup. Let's see. Oh man, I said I've been doing paperwork all week. Guess what? It's tax time. I hate doing taxes. I hate doing taxes. And I'm not going to take them to pay somebody to do them. They're simple enough. It's just the headache of getting everything together. By the time I get everything together, I might as well do it myself. I mean, the actual process of doing the taxes only takes about an hour. But unfortunately, I'll get halfway through it, and it's like, oh, I need this paperwork. Where the heck is that? And I got to take an hour break to figure out where it's at. So, I hate doing taxes. But it is what it is. It's a necessary evil in our society. And of course, this month I've been dealing with Medicare for the first time. What a nightmare. What have we created with this system? All right. Where are we at on time? Oh boy, it's already after the hour. Let's see what we got here. Oh, thank you, Victoria. I'm looking forward to it. You know, after I sold my white truck, and I was waiting for several months for my new truck, my principal transportation every day was the motorcycle. And I'll be honest with you, folks, I had forgotten just how much I enjoyed riding it. So I'm looking forward to this trip. I am not taking the turnpike. I am not taking I-4. I'm going to start out going up 44, and then I'll head a little bit north and ride on some of the minor roads. So it'll take me 3 or 4 hours to get there, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. So we had some questions this week. I got 2 of them here, and I got asked this several times during the week by other people, both in person and via text message and email. So I'll read the 2. The first one's from Jenny. The second one is from Randy. Jenny says, can you tell us what is going into the clearing area across from Chandler and Megison entrance near Dabney? Roundabout? Question mark. Is there still another firehouse slated down there? Where? Question mark. Is a tunnel planned from Dabney across Megison or Chandler? Question mark. And the village's new sign appears to be missing a decorative top on one side. Do you know what happened to the other one? Is this a new design? Question mark. So that's a series of questions there. And similar questions, this is from Randy. He says, as they continue to update 470 to 4 lanes east of the Turnpike interchange, do you think they will add a golf cart tunnel under 470? As I look at the plans on SwiftMud, I see no tunnel near the Megison Road. Just was wondering what you think the chances are that there will be one at the end of Chandler Drive. Thanks for everything you do to provide accurate information. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I do strive to get accurate information out. Let's see. So I have not seen the final plans, but they own 550 acres south of 470. One of the things that's going down there, as I understand it, is another fire station. When I was at the fire stations delivering Thanksgiving dinner, I saw a plan up that showed 2 more fire stations south of Eastport. So south of 48, there's at least 2 more planned. I did not see that on the plan for the one over near Megacin, but my understanding is that's where a fire station is going to be going. Do I think they'll build a tunnel? Because they own 550 acres, I definitely do think they're going to build a tunnel. I could be wrong, okay? I thought for certain that they were going to build golf cart lanes on the bridge going across the turnpike there at 470. They're not. Every time I go by there, I look, and it's like, yep, that's not wide enough for a multimodal path, because that's an extra 16 feet. And the space is just not there. Let's see. So yeah, I've seen the is that phase? I don't remember which phase number it is, folks. There's so many things going on, it's ridiculous. But I saw the phase where they did show the road coming from the turnpike and making the first bend there at on 470, just past Megacin. And I didn't see any tunnel identified. Does that mean not going to happen? If it does happen, it's probably going to be near Chandler. That makes the most sense based on the way the golf carts path is laid out right now. Of course, there's commercial property there, so that would mean that you would have a major thoroughfare for golf carts crossing an entrance, a possible entrance into a commercial area. I don't know, kind of hard to say. But I definitely think though that they should be one. As far as the new sign, so last time I flew, I happened to look. You guys don't see all the footage I shoot. When I start laying out a video, I normally start with anywhere from 4 to 8 hours worth of footage. That immediately gets cut down to about 2 to 3 hours, and then I start trimming that and speeding it up to get it down to the 30-minute mark. So lots of work goes into that, but I do shoot a lot of extra stuff. A lot of it is B-roll that I'll use at a later date, but the 2 towers, the one on each end, they are complete. One is higher than the other. I don't understand the reasoning, but looking at it, it is finished. So there will probably be more information put on that sign at a later date. All right. Ooh, what do we got here? Any opinion on a pool build during new construction or after close? Yeah, I got a big opinion on that. The most efficient way is when it's being built, because when the house is done, the pool is done. The pool is actually done before the house usually, and you don't have to rip up the sod that was just put in. You don't have to rip up the landscaping that was just put in. You don't have to rip out the sprinkler systems that were just put in to put the pool in. So it is more cost effective. I say that. If you don't like what they offer, well, it's take it or leave it, okay? They offer a limited selection of pool designs. It's pretty varied, but, it's not everybody's cup of tea, what they offer. Price-wise, once you calculate everything in, it's pretty much a break-even whether you build it now or then. The difference is going to be, do you want to live with dirt for 3 or 4 months? Having gone through 2 post-build pool installations, once in Haines City and once in here in the Villages at the first house, and probably a third one, who knows when. if you have dogs, I had dogs, and they track dirt in continuously, and it you know, you've got to deal with the dirt and the mud and everything else if you do it post build. But your choices are much broader. You get much more latitude on what you want to do. Basically, all it has to do is fit in there. You know, when you start doing some of these more elaborate pools and spa accommodations, you know, it takes more time. Okay, there's a lot more finish work on it, and you know, I think that's part of the reason why we see a limited selection on pools during new construction. Let's see. This is a good question. Hugo says, noticed cameras on the traffic lights at Brownwood, at Powell, and 44A, state or city, and are they red light cameras? They are all over. You know, when you go through one of the gates, okay, you can see the cutout in the asphalt where they put in the loop. There's a pickup loop there. And that's the way those pickup loops are used to trigger the lift gates, okay? And those things are very simplistic. I used to install them as part of my work. The cameras that you're seeing are not traffic cameras. Well, they're traffic cameras, is exactly what they are. They're watching the road, and they're using video analysis to determine the traffic light sequencing. Okay, so if there's no car, let's say you're on 44, and there's no cars on Morse Boulevard in either direction for 10 minutes, that light isn't going to change. 44 is going to stay green the entire time. So those cameras are just used for triggering the sequences for the traffic lights. They're not traffic cams. All right. Wow. So we're already at a quarter after. Let me check my list here. We talked about the fair. We talked about Bike Week. Golly, we covered everything. So, any last minute questions before we call it a day? You know, we've had a great crowd here today. We've had about 120, 125 at the peak. We're down to 116. Lots of people showing up. I appreciate you coming to watch. And your questions, of course. I try and give you good information. The last video, 165, it came out right after the last week's show. It's doing well. I'm very happy with that. I was targeting trying to get 166 out next weekend. It's not going to happen. The weather has not been cooperating. The winds have been way too high for the kind of flying I need to do. You know, at ground level, it seems a little gusty. When you get up 200-300 feet, those winds are really beating you up. And yeah, the drone can handle it, but I just assume not take a chance. You know, you got a $3,000 or $5,000 bird in the air. It's kind of a big hit, you know, when you have to self-insure on those. It'll probably be the weekend after, between not being able to shoot it, plus I've got a show I've got to shoot on. The improv show is coming up at Lake Meona Rec Center. The Villages Improv Group is having a show there. I'm recording it for them. And that's after being in Tallahassee on Thursday and Friday. And of course tomorrow I'm in Daytona. So it's going to be a busy, busy week for me. So we'll call it good. Some music at Eastport are going to 10 p.m. Too late for you? Heck no. There's no such thing as music too late, and rarely is there such a thing as the music too loud. You know, if you see me in the truck and I'm bouncing around, I probably got the music turned up. I'm still a teenager at heart when it comes to my music. So, as always, remember, life is short, power is fleeting. And physical beauty lasts but a short while. All those who live long enough will also become weak and vulnerable at some point. So let's be humble, help the sick, the weak, the vulnerable. And most of all, remember that screwed this up. Try and leave the world a better place than we find it. I really blew that, didn't I, tonight? So thank you all for watching. Take care. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. And if I see you out in the neighborhood or in the community, stop and say hello. Always willing to talk. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks for watching today's broadcast of Gold Wingnut Live. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happening here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo-video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo-video package of your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work is being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some do. I'm watching your new home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange for your package today, and I'll see you next week right here at Gold Wingnut Live.
It's a story about a woman who walked into a bridal shop one day and told the sales clerk that she was looking for a wedding gown for her 4th wedding. Well, the saleswoman asked, "Just exactly what type of dress are you looking for?" "A long, flowing white dress with a veil," she responded with assurance. Not totally convinced, but afraid to offend the woman, the saleslady said, "You know, dresses of that nature are usually more appropriate for brides who are being married for the first time, for those a bit more innocent, if you know what I mean." Well, the lady retorted and put her hand on her hip. "I do know what you mean, and I can assure you I'm as innocent as the rest of them. Despite all my marriages, I remain as innocent as any first-time bride. And you see, my first husband was a dear, sweet man. It was a terrible tragedy, actually. All the excitement of the wedding was simply too much for him, and he died as we checked into the hotel on our wedding night." "I'm sorry to hear that," said the clerk, "but what about the others?" "Well, my second husband and I got into a terrible fight in the limousine on the way to our wedding reception. We haven't spoken since and got the marriage quickly annulled." "What about your third husband?" asked the store clerk. "Well," the woman replied, "he was a Democrat." "And every night for 4 years, he just sat on the edge of the bed and told me how good it was going to be." Sorry, I just couldn't resist telling you.
How's it going, Teach?
Is that a daiquiri?
Oh, dang. Oh, God. come on. You know the rules. Yeah, gotta put a lid on it. Gotta put a lid on it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now just stay on this road for about 3 miles. 3 miles? Nah, hold on. I know a shortcut. This is not a road. Which one of these is the radio? And that little button right there is your hazard lights. Ooh, yeah, but I'm gonna call them flashers. And you know you can only use those for emergencies, right? Like when it's raining? Yes. Yeah. There is no bigger emergency. It's terrifying. Whoa, what is that? Yield? Oh, I think the Y is silent. Like yield. What does it mean? Nobody really knows, actually. Let's just stop and stare at it. Good idea. You can go on and get out. We haven't even started yet. Yeah, I've been driving since I was 3 years old. I don't need anybody telling me how to do it. Why does nobody here think the rules apply to them? Hey, hold on, I'm gonna need that bottle. Thank you kindly. Now pretend that you're making a left-hand turn. Are you sure you don't want me to actually drive? On these roads? Hey, I know a street that doesn't have any potholes. Where? Oh, North Carolina. Now this is called a traffic circle or a roundabout. And what you're gonna wanna do is drive straight over the middle. Huh? Yeah, you just get some speed going and you and then and okay, well you can't argue with that logic. I know, yeah. This car's going a little slow. Go ahead and merge into the left lane. All right, how's that? Perfect. Now, match his speed. Yeah, but this could back up I-77 for miles. Oh, no. So, not even once did you use a turn signal. A what? Turn signal. Well, that's not real. No, it is very real. How would that even work? It's right there. You just push it up, you push it down, and a light comes on outside your vehicle that lets everybody know you're going to turn. Okay, well, that sounds like witchcraft. I don't know why we bother. You're doing great so far. Oh, thank you. Wait, so far? I thought this was everything. Oh, no, that was just the rural Georgia test. We still have the Atlanta part. Not today. Lord did not give me enough patience for that. Perfect score. So, where's the truck at? I don't know. I could have swore I left it right here. Oh, let me guess. You left it running with the keys in it. Yeah, so the AC would keep running. How did you know? Well, you'll never see that truck again. I was only gone for 5 seconds. You new here or something? Looks like you failed the test. All right, let's see if you can pass this. Put your key in the ignition. And that's all I need to say. Congratulations, you're a licensed driver now. I'm gonna drive straight into a Taco Bell. Hey, and make sure when you go to any other state, get in the left lane, go as slow as possible. Oh, I definitely will.